listening to the Gettin' Salty Experience podcast.
We are back, Leatherhead Nation. Welcome back. And away we go. Welcome back to another episode of the Gettin' Salty Experience podcast. It's the only goddamn podcast in the whole wide world, unisphere, in the whole world, the whole universe that brings the Firehouse kitchen table right to you, right through your computer, right through your phone, whatever you want to come through.
Right true.
Trio. And as always, my number one man right there, who's got his little Piccolini on tonight.
That's it.
He's got it on tonight. He's going.
It's a Scopolini.
Yeah, get the Scopolini. We got Pandemic Pete and his new digs.
Wow, he put the shelves up and everything. He's got the skateboard.
The only thing he's got is no heat because his father-in-law won't turn it on.
He's got a sweater on. Peter, don't touch the thermostat, Peter.
Peter, I told you, not a degree above 55. Nice.
Only when you see your own breath can you lift it up to 57, and that is the max on special occasions.
You got to do a better Jewish guy since you're Jewish.
Whatever.
What's going on, Peter? Shalom. Don't touch the thermostat.
I guess you're fully out now. You're not my neighbor anymore. I got to drive 40 minutes to come see you now.
Sorry, bro. I got to drive 40 minutes to see you, so we're even.
Well, listen, in the summertime, I got the beach here, so you and the old lady stay over.
Hey, wink, wink, not none. You know,
one of those
in the bikini. How you doing?
Guest room, bikini.
I'm willing to trade. Why not? You know.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's the only fair game we're gonna get. These days.
Man. Yep. All right, listen. Let's get to our guest because this guy, I'm loving this guy, bro. He is the Rodney Dangerfield of firemen, bro. He is a stand-up comedian, an author, a firefighter. He was a cop. He was a Marine. Specializes in PTSD. Funny mother effer. I like him. I love him.
He's a little bigger than you, too, by the way.
He is a little big. He's big.
He's a little beefy.
He's a lot more hairy than me. So without further ado, here he is, the one and only Travis. How's it going? There you go. To the left. To the right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah,
this
man.
guy's a professional now. He's not no idiot like me, Lou, and Pete over here. This guy is a professional.
He's a real deal Holyfield.
Look, I'm in competition with you, man. I've seen the episodes, and I was like, I gotta have a tight shirt like Coobs, and I went in there. I threw this fucking thing. I took it to. I didn't even use my dryer. I went to a hotel down the street. I used a commercial size dryer. I said, put this fucker on high heat. I got a show tonight.
Make sure you flex the the titties every once in a while.
Yeah, you got the titties. You got to make the flag.
Flex them up. Yeah.
Make the flag wave. Yes.
Boing, 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 boing. I don't even know where to start with this guy. He's so well-rounded, but, he'll make you laugh. He'll make you cry. I can tell you that much. So bring out your Kleenex because this guy has seen it all, man. He really has. He's very funny, too. So I don't know where
without further ado, Pete.
Before we jump in, Pete, why don't we give this shameless plug? Because we really got no sponsors except for ourselves. So.
And in that,
you guys Venmoing each other your sponsorship money.
Yeah, exactly. And with all that, welcome to Getting Salty Apparel podcast, guys. And by the way, we're brought to you by GettinSaltyApparel.com, where you will find the coolest firefighter apparel in the game, like Kevin's wearing right there, and I don't think Louie's wearing one.
No,
not tonight. I'm too damn cold, so I've got to wear this sweater. But anyway, guys, if you guys want cool firefighter t-shirts, apparel, accessories, all kinds of bottle openers, cigar cutters, so on and so forth, head on over to GettinSaltyApparel.com. Thank you, guys.
So you see that guy right there, man? You see him right there? Those eyes have seen it all. I only know him a short time, bro, but this guy has got more stories. Like I said, funny, sad. So we're going to let him start wherever you want to kick it off, Travis. Where you had a story when you were 15, or you want to go before that? Where you're from originally? Give us a little something on you.
I mean, we kind of just kick it around and see what happens. First of all, I was scrolling through. Remember when we were right before we went on show, and I was scrolling on the side of the screen, and I was like, "Are all these the guests that are waiting to come in?" And you guys are like, "Yeah," and I'm like, man, these are all dudes.
We got a couple of ladies.
I was like, hey, but dude, I've done a lot.
Party.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, man, I've never done an online sausage party. Like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is a new thing, man. This is great.
Yeah.
I even made a note. Look, online sausage party.
You
forget to
correct.
It's
You
called
really hit the top now.
too.
You really, when you got more sausage and you can count, you've done
Irene, Irene in the chat is taking offense. I'm not a dude, and so is Susie, and so is Andrea. So
I gotta tell you,
Travis, took you 3 minutes. Congratulations.
3 minutes in, I'm already pissing people off. I got to tell you the joke. So obviously I'm from the South, right? And you guys talk. You guys are real fucked up when you talk. You sound weird to me, right? But I've spent a lot of time in the city, and I got some buddies, FDNY and all that. When I tour in comedy, I've done a lot of time up there in the city. But I'll tell you a funny story since we're talking about sausage party. I'm from the South, and I never knew. I didn't know what brajol is. Is that how you say it, brajol?
Brajol.
Brajol.
Right. Yeah, so we don't have that shit down here. So when I first started on the job, I had a lieutenant from Jersey, and he started fucking with me, and he goes, you want some brajol? And I was like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, he made me think it was a woman. Right?
Well, listen. Can't be used in that same context. You go, oh shit, you see that brajol?
Look at that brajol over there, Maron.
Well, see, so when I came to the city, I had a buddy that worked engine 226 over in Brooklyn, and we were riding one day, and I asked him because I was up there doing comedy, and I said, "Where's all the hot brajol?" And he's like, "Do what?" And I wasn't using the proper context, and he asked me, he's like, "You trying to get some dick?" Because I didn't know what it was.
If there's anything wrong with that, Travis.
No, not at all. It's not at all. But he's like, it's a sausage.
The Italians have an obsession with. Hold on, let me say it properly.
Brajol is actually meat wrapped up.
With their curse words, they have to be like also food. So you got the brajol, which is sausage, for the sausage.
Brajol, not sausage. It's wrapped up meat.
It's wrapped up meat.
It's wrapped
thin
up
steak.
Meat.
It's thin steak.
Right. Sorry. And then you got
thin.
Tin. You got every other curse is a food
F-bomb.
Yeah, and
it's a family show here. You know what I mean? We're trying to keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Not prosciutto. Gonzo's saying prosciutto. It's not prosciutto. It's brajol. Brajol.
I saw Irene there. I'm not a dude. I get so yeah. You're right, Pete. My bad.
What about the dude that followed you? Tell us about how you had a dude follow you back one time, right? Look at you break off a little piece of Travis.
Oh gosh, I was in I had a show. I can't remember the club. It was in Syracuse, New York. And afterwards, I drove back to my hotel. I get in my room, and afterwards, I'm just laying there watching TV or whatever. And I get on the door.
Yummy!
Yeah, I was like, "What the?" I was like, "Who's coming to my room?"
Oh boy!
Well, I opened the door, and there was a dude standing there, and he's like, "Hi."
Like a dude or a dude? Like a
did he say?
All right. Did he look like you? Like a dude?
No.
Or did he look like?
Nah, he wasn't like a mountain man like me. But he, was just he looked more like Coobs. He was clean cut. But he's like, I was at your show, and I'm like, how the fuck did you find my room? He's like, I followed you back, and the girl at the front told me what room you were in. It was this big thing. Yeah, exactly. You know how we do it down south.
Squeal.
Hank knows it.
Oh my God. Anyway,
that's a wedding song down south.
Hank's from Tennessee, right? Back with the Tennessee.
Yeah.
He's in there. Yeah.
Cheers, Tank.
So the guy, how'd you get him away from your door? Like you punched him right in the face and told him to fuck off, or what happened?
I just politely told him I wasn't in the mood for any brajol. Yeah. You like
correct?
That? I like that. You are correct.
Boy's a professional. That's what we call a callback.
I like it.
Oh, that's right.
Like how the man works.
Coming back all the way around. Coming around.
Look at that.
Nice. Nice. So where do we start, Kev? Where do we start with this gentleman, this fine gentleman?
I'm letting Travis run the show like wherever he wants to go, bro.
Nice.
I guess so. I do a lot of talking about mental health. I'm a speaker. I don't know if you call it motivational or what, but I do a lot of speeches around the country with our military, law enforcement, emergency services, and it's all mental health, and it's all based around things that I experienced throughout my life. I experienced early childhood trauma on up through my career. So I'm speaking to the National Fraternal Order of Police in Nashville last year. That's where that was. And I guess so. What I talk about is what this job kind of entails and what it does and how serious it can get. And we all know that, but I think what happens is we suppress wanting to speak about these things later in life, and that's why we have so many suicides. But we were talking before the show. I experienced my first firefighter fatality when I was just 15 years old, and I was just hanging around the firehouse like a lot of young dudes do. And the bell rang, and this old firefighter named Ronnie Bergen came out. And he said, "Hey, kid, you want to go on a call?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." So it was a car wreck, and I didn't know what we were going to. And we get there, and it was unfortunately it was a firefighter that was from the next jurisdiction over.
Oh shit!
Yeah, a concrete truck drove over the back of his car and crushed him.
Holy shit!
Yeah, at 15, I was standing right next to him the whole time, and I was handing them cribbing to so we could when they were using airbags on the truck. And his name was Sammy Singleton. I'll never forget it. And he was a Marine Corps veteran too. And I talk about that in my book a lot. The book that came out in May, I talk about how Sammy played a pivotal role in my life. I remember being on that bridge, looking at his body, his mangled, crushed body, and thinking about this guy being a Marine and a firefighter. And you wonder how
this is where you get it. Yeah, how are you going to get it? How's it going to end?
Yep, that's it. And so many years later, after I finished writing my book, I went back and visited Sammy's grave, and it's the first time I'd seen him in 27 years. And it was never met the guy personally, but he's always been like really close to me. I don't know. I mean, so it's just one of those experiences.
Right. Well, you said you had one even before that, right? Earlier, didn't you have?
Yeah. So I had this minor childhood trauma. Nothing major. I in my book I talk about working for this guy in construction because I don't know the actual figures, but they say a lot of people that go in emergency services, there's a very high percentage of them who have childhood trauma, whether it be physical trauma, emotional trauma, or sexual trauma. And I was almost potentially sexually exposed. Nothing happened, but a guy that I was working for on a construction site, the main guy there, he tried some things but it was all verbal with me. So I got very uncomfortable and I ended up leaving. I quit. And a couple of weeks later, the kid that I was working with hung himself.
Oh,
really?
Yeah,
oh shit.
Yeah. He was a friend of mine. Yeah. So one can only imagine why. I mean, we were all alone with this guy out there on the site.
So what do they attribute that to, bro? Like, is there any kind of data on that? Like, what do they attribute that to? With
like if you had trauma in your past, like I mean, even just for myself, I saw my old man. He had an aneurysm. He was 43. He passed away 43. I was about 9, and I watched them, working on him, and then I watched him wheeling past me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so as soon as you said that, I was thinking to myself, like, did I have anything like that? Oh, well, wait a minute. Yeah, I mean, you don't think about it, but it's there all the time. I mean, I was still young and I didn't understand things, but it's there.
But
right.
What is the reason that pushes people towards that? Do they know, or they?
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's a subconscious thing. Like, look, I barely graduated high school, so I don't know. I'm not a scientist or anything, but I think it's that eagerness to help for whatever reason and to be a part of something where we can help people. I don't have that answer. I don't know, but I do know that there's a large percentage of people that experience that in our line of work.
I'm going to say something similar to that. I'm opening myself up here at the ball breaking, but I'm going to do it anyway. That people in choose sometimes partners that are dysfunctional because of our needs to help somebody. And at the time we get into a relationship with those people, we don't realize how dysfunctional are. But it's always the fireman or the responder in us that wants to help somebody else, right? And some people can't be helped, they're too far gone. But that's led to a lot, in my eyes, a lot of failed relationships because you're always that person who wants to help somebody, the person that can fix somebody, or and it leads to.
It could be in multiple ways, Kev. I agree with you. Like for me, I was always trying to fix my fucked up family growing up. Like my parents were not the best, and then that leads to along the way, you're always trying to fix something. My business partners in my old business, they're freaking messes. You know the whole story with that. So I agree. You pick people for some reason. You want to help people. You
gravitate towards dysfunctional people that you want to fix and help, right?
Yep. And then we have our own problems too. You know,
Right.
the responders, and I talk about that, and it's on that podcast that I do. It's called Communicating Through Trauma. We're very hard to communicate with, you know, because we are the helpers. We don't accept help very well. We're always willing to give it, but we're not willing to accept it.
Yeah, man. Amen to that. Yep. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. But, Rookie, weren't you telling me something about an incident with
Travis, when I was watching, I ended up watching that another podcast you were on just to get an idea of how you were and what you were doing. And it was something with the baseball team or something like that.
Coach,
was it Little League?
Oh, shit. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, man, wow. You guys reminded me because there's so much that I've experienced, and I don't try to put myself on a trauma pedestal. And that's what I say when I speak too, because we've all experienced our own traumas, and it's not a competition. Unfortunately, I've experienced a shit ton of it, and sometimes, it's hard to remember it all. But my baseball coach, when I was in Little League, his son was a really good friend of mine. We did spend the nights all the time. We went camping. We spent weekends together. My mom picked me up from school one morning and told me that the coach killed himself, and I was 10, 11-ish at the time, and I couldn't really understand it. And then she said, "There's more." The coach not only killed himself, but he shot his wife in the face. He shot his grandmother in the face, and he shot his son as well, my friend. But he shot his son in his wrist. He held the gun point blank and blew his wrist apart before he turned the gun on himself and killed himself. So I'm here. I'm at 10 years old. I'm like, whoa,
holy shit!
Jeez.
You know. And just a couple months after that, my friend Eric was also killed with a high-powered rifle by his cousin. His cousin accidentally shot him in the chest. So, yeah.
Wow. So now we know why you went into the field that you went into.
Yeah.
Holy
Christ. Yeah.
Hey, there's somebody in the chat, Rob McNamara, said that Travis's book and podcast saved my life and my marriage. So,
oh, sweet, man.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Hey, Rob, you know what? That's nice to say, but honestly, you saved that, bro. I mean, that's the truth. Maybe I just had a resource that was able to flip a light on for you somehow, but ultimately that was you, bro.
Yeah.
But that's important, though. These triggers, these triggers that can flip a switch in your mind about who you are and what you can accomplish. You know, I was listening to your podcast the other day, in preparation for the show, but I was blown away with a lot of the points you were making. You know, and all those little things build up over time and can lead to humongous change in a person. I guess the horse is actually walking itself to water to drink at that point when you're listening for advice. But I don't want to discount what you do either, you know, because some people just don't know where to be, and then you may say something that just strikes something in them, and technically, you know, you might have saved that guy.
Yeah, a lot of people I've realized they want help. They're looking for help. They don't know where to find it, and it could be something as simple as the conversation we're having that it flips that switch for them. It makes them realize, like, oh shit, that's what I need. You know, it's crazy.
Hey, Travis, Ray Seeley's he's FDNY. He's a lieutenant. He wrote, "I don't think I want to be near this guy. He's a lightning rod."
Ray, we haven't even gotten started, man. We haven't even gotten started, man.
Hey, just so you know, Ray's one of the most professional ball busters we got in the chat.
Hey, bring it, man. You'd want to take early retirement if I got assigned to your company. You'd be like,
you guys have been great. Take care.
Yeah, fucking back injury. I'm out. Lick ass. I'll see you later.
Here's a little Tootsie Roots, a little something for you guys. I'm out of here.
One for you, something for you, a little Tootsie Roots, I'm out of here. So you enlisted in the Marine Corps right out of high school, 96?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
First of all, you got no business graduating in 96. What the hell? 96, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
This is a guy.
It's a
So
pup.
96. He's a pup. What makes you want to go right to the Marine Corps?
I was a fucking loser, man. I wasn't going anywhere. Honestly, hey, I know what I am.
I did like all the other losers do. Joined the finest military organization in the world.
Well, I needed something, man. I needed to be challenged. I really did. Like I had a very tough dad, and he challenged me and everything. But when I became a young man, there's only so much you can do at 18. There's only so many ass whippings a dad can handle or give you. So I needed a little bit more discipline and direction, and I honestly wanted to make my dad proud too, because I felt like I was heading nowhere. So I was like, "What's the fucking hardest thing I could do? Let's be a Marine," and that's what I did. I was a fucking class clown. Let me back up a little bit. I was a class clown in 8th grade, and I was a class clown in my senior year in high school, and I felt like a fucking joke. I really did, to my dad, and I was like, to prove him wrong, I was like, I'm not a fucking joke. I can be a man too. So I joined the Marine Corps.
That'll do it.
That did it.
I don't hear that the Crucible is a nice, easy time. You know.
I am the last of what we call the old Marine Corps, the old Corps. So my platoon, my company was the last one to never do the Crucible. So it's kind of like a badge of honor. Yeah, it's like a badge of honor. We're like, you guys are the new Corps. I'm the last of the old Corps.
Ah, badass. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, you were wearing M81 God's plaid standard, camouflage back in the old days too. That's that's how I like to delineate what's cool.
Yeah, you break that shit out and that's just vintage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice, hey, Lou, brother.
You know what the fuck they're talking about? Because I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well, I know that's 4 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back. That's all I'm going to say.
Wait, Crucible. I read that in high school. Didn't I read that book in high school?
Yeah. Arthur Miller, right?
That's like when you go to the station and you don't return back to the station because you're out all night working jobs left and right. And so essentially, the Crucible in a Marine Corps boot camp, it's 2 days of going out.
You're out and about.
You're not. You're not. Yeah, you're not eating a lot. You're not drinking a lot. It's like working 2 tours back to back with never seeing the house.
Breaking you down as far as they can possibly break you down.
Yeah, man.
What did you do while you were in the Marine Corps? Did you go anywhere? Did you see anything? Give us.
So I was in the infantry. Yeah. Anybody need
Osama?
Nice.
Yeah. I would do what's that? I was in the infantry, man. I wasn't special forces or anything. On my podcast, Pete's laughing because I think you heard that, right, Pete?
Yeah.
Did you hear that episode?
Everybody's
fucking special forces, and everybody's a sniper, everybody's a SEAL, everybody's fucking recon. Nobody drives the goddamn ships because they're all Navy SEALs.
Who's bringing the gear in the rear, right?
Nobody drives the trucks. Nobody cooks the chow because they're all jumping from helicopters and fucking killing Osama.
That's so true, Osama.
Yeah, but no, I was infantry, and I got out in 2000.
That was just some of your work. We were.
I deployed twice. We deployed to Southwest Asia and the Mediterranean, but this was all before the war, so nothing to write home about. I got out in 2000, but we did some cool stuff.
Did part of you regret that getting out in 2000 and when in 2001 we were attacked, or were you happy to be out?
No, man, I don't. I literally don't regret anything with my life ever, because I feel like our lives. We are where we are at every point in our life for a given fucking reason. I really feel like that, and we'll talk about this in a little bit later. In 2003, I did try to go back into the Marine Corps. While I was a police officer, I drove my police cruiser to the front door of the recruiting station in North Charleston, and the recruiter laughed and he said, "Dude, by the time we get you processed in, this war will be over." And I was like, "Well, fuck that! I don't want to go sit in there for 4 years, And
yeah.
But little did he know, and my dumb ass listening to some fucking sergeant.
Yeah.
What do you know? You got the inside scoop, motherfucker.
That was the old paradigm of warfare for us back in the day, though.
Yeah,
now, it's a whole ball game.
So when the invasion was just kicking off and everybody was getting patriotic and everybody was signing up, and I was like, "Well, fuck this, I'm going back," And that guy, that's the worst recruiter I've ever met in my life, because most of those guys would be like,
don't do that.
Come on. Yeah, no, we'll suck you off to get you in here. But you don't want to fucking do it.
I've never done this before.
A guy who's been there, who's a police officer, we got no room for you. We don't need you.
I'm standing there with a gun. I'm like, dude.
That is wrong. And he did the wrong thing.
He did the wrong thing.
Oh, shit, man. So you went
So
to
when
Southeast Asia. Where in Southeast Asia, bro? Where was that?
No, we went to Southwest Asia, so all in the Persian Gulf regions and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, not the other Asia where my old lady's from. She's from
No, let me tell you something, dude. Now the only I was a POW for a short time.
What? Just for real?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know if he's fucking around or not right now.
No, I'm dead serious. It was for one night. I was a prisoner of horse.
Correct.
Some people aren't going to get that. I got to spell that one out. Horse is spelled with a W.
He was holding that one. You're right.
I figured you guys would know that. That's an old military joke. But
is it?
No, but it is true though. I'm gonna tell you what. Some of the best stories I have that I can never tell a lot of the shit. But I got a note right here. I put on that I was going to try to make mention of. One time in Greece, right? So we pulled up to this port in Rhodes, Greece.
Greek.
Yeah, so you had hundreds of Marines on the ship, and we all get off, and somehow we all end up in the red light district, just looking around. What's around door number 2, right?
Allegedly. Could have happened. We're not sure.
And this is no bullshit. You can't make this up because there's people that can verify this. So I remember seeing the pastor of the ship standing in line.
No,
I'm serious.
Allegedly.
No, allegedly, I saw the motherfucker, and it was.
I saw it.
There were lines of people, right, and lines of dudes, and I remember looking at him, and he just kind of just wouldn't make eye contact. And I'm like, damn, is he here praying for everybody? I hope so.
Yeah.
He's praying for something.
It was one of those things you just don't ask questions with anybody.
No. He was
checking the door for heat. He was checking the door for heat.
That's it.
He was a whore. He was going to yeah.
Nomine Patri et Spiritus Sancti.
Amen.
Yeah, right? That's where Christ got it. Throw the. He has no glass.
The whole time I'm here, Travis, I'm thinking to myself, who the freak do you look like? Like you remind me of somebody. I just realized who you remind me of that guy who bangs all the broads. What's that guy? Dan Blizzarian or something?
Blizzarian?
Blizzarian. Yeah, you look like
I'm definitely not him.
Dude, you got the cash? You got cash? That guy's throwing cash around, bro.
That guy's in hiding.
Brazils.
Isn't he hiding out somewhere now? He got busted and
what?
He's
off the map.
Yeah, he's off the map. He's
got busted for what?
Like embezzlement or scandals with money, some shit.
He was like, he was living a life that everybody wants to live.
Not anymore.
Really?
Taste the soup.
There's a fly in my soup.
There's a fly in my soup. Don't touch the thermostat.
So wait, so you were a POW. How'd you make it out of Greece, man?
I think you tell me you were the guy that knocked on his door in Greece. I saw the guy who was knocking on my door who wanted a little something in Greece. And,
not that there's anything wrong with that.
All right, thanks a lot.
Going down.
You went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, Tino's out the nose. Good.
All right, so wait, so you get out of the Marine Corps. What happens after that?
He goes right into the Bluffton Fire Department. No?
Yeah. Have you ever seen that? What's that Chuck Norris movie where they're captured overseas in Vietnam?
Delta Force?
Oh no, Missing in Action.
Yeah, I was trying to make a quick comeback about how we got out of Greece, but Missing in Action with Chuck Norris. But I'm not that clever. Yeah, so after
that's a South Carolina thing.
That's right. When I got out of the Marine Corps, it was in 2000, and I was like, well, what do I do now? One of my buddies was a fireman back home at the department that I used to hang around when I was little. Mm-hmm. And so I joined them, and I went in, had an interview and everything, got hired, and I was on the job.
Wow, how'd that go? You just went for an interview? Nothing.
Yeah, I went for an interview. Not back then. I knew the chief.
At least like a box of buns or something.
Nothing, man. So here's the thing. My nickname when I was there was Scrotum when I was young, and
before you went to the Marines, it was Scrotum.
Yeah. So I don't know why. It's not like they looked at it or anything, but they named me Scrotum, and it was just ball busting all the time. So when I came back, the chief was like, "Hey, Scrotum."
Oh shit.
Yeah, they had an opening, and I filled out an application, and he put me through the 8-week. It was an 8-week academy in Columbia, South Carolina. Yeah, and so I came back, and I was on the job.
Wow.
How many guys did they have on that department?
That department was small, man. Maybe less than 100.
No shit.
Yeah, it was small. 3 stations. Yeah, back then.
Wow. What are you, an engine? You're an engine company there?
Yeah, so we only had engine companies there. I think we had back then. We had a ladder truck, but it didn't fucking move. We didn't do anything. We went to a bunch of car wrecks and shit all the time, and medical calls, and we had a few fires here and there. I didn't get my real fire experience until I went to Charleston later. But I got all of the trauma calls that I wanted when I was in Bluffton. I mean, it from suicides to medical stuff, car wrecks out there. Shit, we worked 9 fatal car wrecks in 1 month on my shift.
Wow.
9. And I mean, fucking plane crashes. They had 2 Cessna crashes back then.
Look at this kid. He brings me a beer. He is such a good son.
He's all right.
Good
Clothes
job,
on.
kid. Good
Freezing
job,
there.
kid.
It's freezing in there.
Cheers.
But yeah. So when I got out, my first day on the job, within literally 3 hours, we're working a fatal car wreck.
Wow.
That was my introduction.
I think you got that picture, right?
Yeah, I do. I was gonna pour this beer, but fuck it,
Yeah.
It's more beer.
he's at beer 30 right there.
Hold on. Beer.
Yeah. So
beer
right after
30.
lunch. Yep, that's a scene. That's me and my young ass don't know shit. And you see, if you know anything about cutting, I was stupid. I'm in between the tool and the car, the spreaders.
So it's crushing your balls right now.
Yeah, it's about to be crushing my nuts. And this, I guess there was a reporter on scene, but that lady lived. She was really fucked up. But the other lady in the other car, she
looks like fucking Beetlejuice, for Christ's sake.
She was all swollen, man. That's fucked up. Was there a kid in the car? I see like that.
No.
Thank God.
There wasn't a kid, but the other lady was definitely dead. And like I say, that was within 3 hours of walking into the work.
And you still stayed. And you still stayed though.
Well, I'd already been exposed to that shit though. That's the thing is, I was already riding the fire trucks when I was 15 to calls, but
Well,
before
for
I went
Christ's sake, you saw the first fatal
15.
15 years old, bro.
And it didn't stop after that. I kept riding, and I went to more fatal car wrecks, and so it was just business as usual, man. So
I say it all the time. We used to see car accidents all the time. You go back and have chicken parm. You know what I mean? People.
Well, I talk about that in my book. I talk about that. How we'll just go to the nastiest scenes, and then we back the rig in, and let's do dinner.
That's it.
Let's go get it.
But there was one, and Ruffy knows what I'm talking about. There was one accident that we went to that we'll never forget, right? You know what I'm talking about?
What, the kid with the motorcycle?
Holy Christ, dude. There's 2 Irish kids coming up the street on a crotch rocket, and a cab turns right in front of them.
Ugh.
And they hit the A-post. And one kid hits the A-post, and the other kid goes flying. He's got to go, what, 200 feet, Ruffy?
I don't know, some ridiculous amount. Like, it wasn't even close to the accident.
And we pull up. His hand is off. It's hanging on by a little thread. He's just moaning on the side like this. So me and Ruffy go down to the other guy. The guy hit the A-post, and we got to get this helmet off him. We flip him over, and from here down,
just filleted open.
Filleted open.
Yeah, it looked like it was corduroys almost.
When we turned him over, I
actually turned him up. I think I told Coobs, I'm like, Coobs, don't even look at it. I think I said something like
I walked away like this. I was like this.
Yeah, because I know he used to do that.
You get queasy.
Yeah,
queasy.
That one. But I remember saying something to him like, "Dude, don't. He's gone."
And that's the problem with us, though. We're so fucking curious. And I used to tell guys, I'm like, "Don't fucking look. If you don't look, you can't unsee this shit."
Oh,
what is it?
I've done open heart surgery. Not me personally. I've filmed open heart surgeries and stuff, and that shit sticks with you too. And that's like in a sterile environment. Never mind, being split in half by a trailer or whatever the fuck. On the road.
This kid was,
man.
It wasn't available for overtime. It's not available.
He's not available for overtime. Nope, can't work a toffee either. He's done.
Oof.
So what makes you want to go to Charleston? Was there an actual test, or you came with a box of Entenmann's and you said, "Hey, listen, I want to come on"?
Man, it's gonna piss you off because you guys actually had to put effort in to get hired on the job. I didn't.
Come on, man.
Listen to this. I went with some buddies of mine from the Bluffton Fire to the smaller department, and we went to the city, which is Charleston, and we were just going up for a day to hang out. And I ran into some firemen. My buddy Shane Albers, who was later killed. We'll talk about it later, but I just bumped into him at the fire station. I never met these guys, and just having conversation with him, he walks me upstairs to the head chief's office in the city of Charleston. Dude, I shit you not. He walks me upstairs and goes, "This man wants a job." The fucking chief talks to me, interviews me right there, and is like, "Put your paperwork in." Dude, this is how it used to be
like that. Oh, I was going to say
no.
Gosh darn it, man! Come on.
But
man.
he knew I was already certified with the state, and he's like, "Yeah," and he goes, "I'll get you an academy date, or a start date. Just hang tight."
You got a start date
right now.
Right there.
Right there on the spot.
Holy shit!
Well, he didn't give me the date, but he told me I'm going to get you one. And 2 weeks later, he called and I fucking had one. And here was the thing with the Charleston Fire Department back then was they would only do, you know how long their rookie class was? 1 week.
What?
1 week.
Week? The fuck is 1 week? You barely know how to put your bucket gear on in 1 week.
Listen, Monday through Thursday, Friday was graduation.
What? Shut the fuck up.
I'm so
What are
serious.
they teaching you in 1 week, bro?
Listen, well, they only hired, they only hired guys that were certified. So we had already had all the classes and everything. So that's why they didn't hire you to start you and send you through a whole academy. All the people that were there were already certified. So they just put you through their hell week. It's almost like the Navy SEALs, right? Their first week is the roughest or one of. So Charleston would literally try to kill you in this 1 4-day fucking period. They would try to kill you, and that you would do a 1-man 35-foot ladder throw. And if you couldn't do it with all your gear on 35 foot, you're gone. They'd send you up the street. You had to go into the burn building with you could have an air pack on, but they would light the fucking thing on fire with diesel fluid, right? Diesel fuel and furniture. And they make you go in there and suck up all of this smoke. Like, don't even go on air. Like, they wanted to see if you could take it or not. It was crazy back then. And that's just how it was. They just literally just wanted to weed you out.
Wow. So you didn't ring the bell. You didn't ring out.
What year was that?
That was 2002.
2002.
2002, yeah.
Right.
But it has definitely changed since then. But yeah, all that can be verified through all the old dudes. I know it sounds like horse shit, but it's so fucking true. The shit.
Wow.
They would put us in these metal containers. It was almost looked like a small silo, and it was just big enough for 2 people and some pine straw. And they would burn pine straw down there, and you'd have to go down in there with no air pack on and just breathe smoke in this hot metal container with fire burning underneath your feet. Like, what the fuck is the point in this?
What?
I'm telling you, it was.
What about the hot poker under your balls? Did they do that one too, bro? No. You took a hot poker.
They had this diesel pit. They would light this diesel pit on fire, and I can't remember how many gallons they would put in there. But we take a 2.5-inch charge hose line and put it on a fog pattern, and just walk up to this thing and have to put it out. But literally, fire would be licking your ass. The guy in the back on the hose, his ass would be getting licked by the flames coming around this thing. And we had no air packs on. I should have sent you the picture. It's fucking insane.
How many guys were you do at the same time? Like, how many guys were in the class?
There were only 3 of us or 4 of us.
How many? I was going to say, how many people?
They would only hire for how many openings they had. So Charleston was a 300-person department.
Yeah.
And they would only hire for how many? Yeah, it's small compared to you fuckers.
Right. Did anybody quit while you were in there? Or no?
No.
Oh, wow.
Because they wanted to be there, man. These were tough kids, man. They were like, this is what we want to do. Looking back, now I'd be like, I'm not doing that shit.
So you know everybody on the department, right?
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing, right, that we talk about. So when my 9 buddies were killed in that warehouse fire, and we could talk about it later, but I knew all of them, and I knew them very well. And we knew every swing and dick on our department. It was tough, man.
How many companies, give or take? Do you know?
20.
Yeah, so you got to know. I mean, if they're short, right? You guys swap houses, right? You would get detailed too.
Yep, detailed all the time. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So how would you not know everybody?
You know everybody. I knew everybody back then.
All right. So here's the big question, though. So in 2000, you're only there a year, and in 2003, you go to the police department. What?
So they stick it in a box with diesel fuel with no air.
Yeah.
You say to yourself, "This is what I want to do." And 1 year later, you're like, "I'm out of here."
1 year later, I was see y'all later.
It's just why.
So it's this thing with me, man, and I'm very. Notice I've done a lot of different shit in my life, and that's because if something interests me, I have to do it. And I don't want to be that guy at the end of my life looking back saying, I wish I would have done that one thing that I wanted to do. I've literally done everything up until this point that I've wanted to do in life. And that was just part of it, the police department. And I had a fucking blast because I went to North Charleston Police Department back then. And back then it was I think it was maybe 150,000, 100,000. I can't remember the population size, but it was the 5th most violent city in the nation per capita back then.
Holy shit.
Per capita, it was like the Wild West. It was unfucking real.
Really?
Did you book anybody on your first day?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, we were fist to cuff on my first day. Listen.
What was that academy like? Was it like 2 days of them?
Here's your badge. Here's your gun.
Shoot this thing.
Let me beat you with the. We're gonna beat you with a baton for 2 days, and if you survive, you're in.
No, man. The police academy was legit, and they actually had you actually had to take a psychological test. And all that shit. Not like firemen.
It was 10 days.
Like a fireman, they're like, you got a pulse? All right, go. You got a job.
Pulse, he's breathing. All right.
I mean, they expect it to be a little crazy if you want to fucking go into a burning building while everyone's running out of one. You know.
Well, the police academy was 9 weeks long though, and you had to go to the state academy in South Carolina.
9 weeks.
Was that bad?
Yeah, police academies now are like 5 to 6 months.
You don't need all that bullshit, man.
You don't need all that bullshit.
You don't need that bullshit. No, but literally,
That is wrong. And he did the wrong thing.
with the way with police and the way it is now, I'm going to be very careful. I'm just going to say it was a fun job back then, like because you could ruffle a lot of feathers, but it was a different world. There's no way the way that we policed back then and the way that we were taught to police,
Right.
that shit. No, fuck no.
Well, what day did they teach you the stop resisting? Stop resisting.
That's day one. That's day one.
I'll tell you one thing, man. I couldn't. There's no way I could be a cop.
There's no way. You know, the best thing that ever happened to me, Lou, was getting fired from being a fucking cop.
Wait, how'd you get fired? Wait, what?
That's
Hello?
$1 million.
Oh, see how we segued into that? You see that?
Look at that. He's a pro.
The PD.
Hey, I worked the stages all around the world, man. I know it.
My goodness.
And what do we have for our parting guest, Jim?
He was giving a guy a Motorola shampoo, and
I was. Oh God, there's so many stories I could tell you, dude. Like literally, I saw more in 2 years as a cop. And they told us this at the police academy. This is no bullshit. They're like, the people that are going to North Charleston will see more in 6 months than a lot of you would see in 10 years or your fucking career.
Shit.
Oh, it was, I'm telling you, I could talk for days. There he is. I could talk for days. I know.
Would you have a tough paper out of something? What happened? Holy shit. You were young, man.
This guy getting out of his car, flashing the old mag light. You know,
That's
that
27.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Shit. Were you married then?
Ooh.
No, not then. No.
Were they throwing the panties at you?
No, I was throwing the Brazil.
It's the Brazil. You see how he came around again. He came around.
Hey.
Let's take callback.
Callback.
He knows how to do it.
No, so anybody in law enforcement will tell you the easiest thing for a police officer to do is get fired. So when you hear cop got fired, everybody's like, oh God, what did you do? Dude, I didn't do anything. All that happened was this, and I'm not going to get long-winded. This is all in my book. It came down to he said over on a traffic stop. That's all it was. Is one cop said something, I said another. They thought I was lying about it, and they fired me. So it literally, and this is before body cams, and we didn't have neither one of us had a dash cam, so they just took our words. And being that he was a more seasoned officer, I was only 2 years in. They took his word for it, fired me. 8 years later, bro, guess what? I had a whole thing overturned. The police academy actually, it was cool. The police academy actually did their own investigation. And they're like, you know what? This is all bullshit. And I was like, I tried to tell you all that 8 fucking years ago, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me because my life, and this is what I talk about when I speak around the country. When shitty things happen to us, the first thing we do is kick ourselves and we get down on ourselves. We're like, man, this sucks. Why me? Bullshit. But you never know. It's the universe redirecting you to where the fuck you need to be in life. And that decision from that chief, who later personally apologized to me and shook my hand for that, pretty cool.
Nice.
It would be
Had
cool
he
if
not-
he would have told him to go fuck himself. That
Yeah,
would've
but
been-
honestly, that's the only.
I never
that's
liked
the
you.
only. But that's the
Telling
only. That's the only real currency right there, Travis. You
Yep.
know what I mean? When the
I
man
do
looks
know.
at you and
Yeah.
says, "I was fucking wrong."
I was wrong, and I'm sorry. How do you, dude? Hey, you know what? Thanks for owning that shit. But he did me a favor, and that favor was redirecting my life. Because the way that we used to police, I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be where I am. It wouldn't have worked out well for me. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I went back to Charleston Fire Department after that, and I was back where I belonged. I should have never left the fucking fire department. I didn't fit in as a cop because I was an asshole. I was a jokester. I was that guy that needed to be in a firehouse.
Mm.
I like fucking with people, and in the streets as a police officer, it's kind of hard to do. So I was back home as a fireman, and I regretted ever fucking leaving that place. And had that,
So how did you get back in? You went back there and said, "Hey,
man, let me tell you what I did. I got fired. This what happened.
Wait, you did this?
No, see? I picked it up. I called that old chief back, and I said, "Hey, chief, this is Travis Howze. How are you doing?" He goes, "How you liking being a cop?" I said, "Not so good. I just got fired." And he said, "What happened?" And I told him. He goes, "You want a job?"
Really? Look at that, bro.
It's like
I mean, really, come on,
Man, you know
man.
why?
They're
Firemen always have each other's back, bro. It's the
Yep.
leatherhead.
And he goes, "I got to open an engine 16 right now. Do you want to go?"
Do we have a picture of that guy, Travis? Do we have a
Who?
picture of him or no? The chief?
Mm,
No.
No,
That you sent us?
no.
Negative.
So I get sent to engine 16, and I was literally only there for a few weeks, and they had an opening at ladder 5, and I was like, I wanted to be a ladderman so bad.
I will
Yeah.
show this one though,
There you go.
because you got your
Wow.
16 hat on, and you
Yep.
look
Which
very
guy?
young
Which
there.
guy are you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So-
Good
Here's
one,
the story.
Louis. You sassy pants. You look at that.
sassy.
Let me tell you about that guy. That's John McGinnigal. He's dead now. But
Oh,
I was
man.
in engine 16. I just gotten transferred over, and I hadn't received my ladder 5 shield yet. So I still had the 16 on my hat. And we're up in the bucket 105 feet in the air right there on a place called James Island. He was the captain of ladder 5. He was transferred from ladder 4 downtown on the east side. And he was so pissed, he never changed his shield out. He's like, fuck it. I'm ladder 4 for life. Fuck y'all. So, but
Nice.
that man right there, that guy, yeah, he was a legend, man. I can tell you a funny call about a suicide, but he told me on his day he retired, he walked out of the firehouse and he looked me in the eye and he said, "Travis, be careful. We are going to kill a lot of guys the way that we do things around here." And he says, "I don't mean we're just going to kill a couple. We're going to kill companies of men the way we fight fire." He said, "Promise me you take care of yourself." And he left. And a few months later, we killed 9 guys in a fire.
Wow. That was a few months later?
A few months later. And then a few months after that, he died of cancer.
No.
But that guy,
Christ, man.
Shit.
let me tell you how that guy talked a jumper off a bridge, and this was before my time. But they had a jumper on a bridge.
Go ahead, do it.
It was exactly. It was
man.
they had this metal that was high up on this bridge, and they had to set the bucket up to go up to him. And it was Captain John, and at the time they had a chaplain go up with him, and it was raining. It was in February, and the story is Captain John looked at the guy and he got tired of fucking around. And he goes, "Either you fucking jump or get in this goddamn bucket because we're going to the house." And the priest was shitting mad about that, but the guy got into the bucket and they fucking got him out of there.
Oh, yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
do.
It wasn't the same priest you saw on the line at the whorehouse.
No. He'd have been like, "Not this guy again."
How many pots with the spirits? That's it.
Awesome. I did have. Oh, what about that? We had a picture of that house you said before. Remember the guy? You said that something happened with the. guy?
Hold on. This one, okay. For everyone watching the show, we
Let him
see a
talk,
pretty
sure.
mellow house.
Hold on,
What-
was this later in,
You were a cop?
in your life? Were you a cop at this time? No.
No, I was actually a fireman, and that's
Oh shit! I
Yeah.
thought you were a cop. That's why I brought it
no,
up.
that's why I didn't say anything.
Oh, we might
earlier.
as well segue right into this one.
Yeah. So while we're here,
Oh, sassy.
Well, here, you don't be fuck.
Travis is getting sassy.
That
So-
is wrong. And he did the wrong thing.
so this is the house that I killed a man in, and this is when I was a fireman. And when I say I killed him, it wasn't like he was dying or anything. It's like everything I did on the scene led to this man's death, and it was hard for me for many years. And I'm only able to talk about it now because it's one of the things I talk about when I talk about mental health to our first responders. Is I was only on the job a couple of months, and you're in superhero mode when you're young and you're on the job. You're like, I just want to go help everybody. And what was going on was there was a gentleman having a seizure in this house right here, and when we got to the scene, myself and the paramedic, we ran inside to help him, and he was seizing, and his family was all around him, and it was very dimly lit. And the other 3 firemen and the other EMT that brought the ambulance up, they were outside getting all their gear. Well, the paramedic had the drug box in there with her, and she was starting to push some Valium, and she looked at me and said, "Hey, do you know how to spike a bag?" Well, in the Marine Corps and the infantry, we were always, spiking a bag is just setting up an IV bag. We were always helping each other out at the barracks when we get hung over and shit. Our corpsmen would hook them up, or in the desert when guys would get dehydrated, we'd help our corpsmen spike bags. So I said, "Yeah, I can spike one." She says, we'll reach in that drug box, grab one, and spike it for me. So the man's seizing. I spike a bag. I just reach in. I grab the first bag I see, spike it, hang it up. I open it up, and
Holy shit!
Within seconds, the guy stops breathing, and the family, I'll never forget, the mother is standing over my shoulder, and she goes, "Why isn't he breathing?" And all of a sudden the paramedic goes, "Well, that's just the effects of the Valium." And oh fuck, we just killed him. And
What?
She looked at me.
That's what you said?
No.
That's what she said. And let me tell you something. She looked up. She's like, "Did you spike that fucking bag?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I looked up, and she goes, "We just killed him." And it was lidocaine. All right. And I didn't know the difference between lidocaine and saline. I thought an IV was just a fucking IV. And instead of grabbing a saline bag, I grabbed lidocaine, just spiked it and opened it up. And the effects from that and the Valium stopped his heart instantly. And you can imagine, we got assaulted like big time inside of that house. And we're dragging this guy out like combat style and throwing him in the ambulance and doing compressions on him the whole way to the hospital. And he expired. And
How old was he?
He was in his late 30s, early 40s, probably.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know his name. It sticks with me, and it's just one of those things.
What came of that? Did they try to fuck with you with that, or they?
What's that?
Like, why? First of all, why would she say that? Why would she say that in front of people?
I think she just wasn't thinking, and she freaked out, and she got scared because she knew we just killed him.
Oh my god!
So what happened was, Coobs, I think you were getting at it. Like, what did the guys do? Mm-hmm. So here's what happens, and this is what I talk about with our culture, right? It's all fun and jokes. And we like laughing, and we're ball breakers, but we also got to be more aware of the mental health side of it, and that's what I talk about now. And so we go to the ER. The guy's dead as shit. I'm crying like a little bitch because I'm like, man, I just killed this guy, and all I want to do is help him. I go back to the station, the chief on duty. He sits me down, talks to me. I'm still crying, and he goes, he said, "Well, go wipe your face up. Don't let those guys see you like that next door." And so I wipe my face up. I walk over, and the second that I walk into the day room, what do you think they did?
Broke your balls, probably.
It busted my ass, dude. They go, "Oh, look, it's the cardiac kid," and they start laughing.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That is wrong, and they did the wrong thing. Jesus Christ!
No, that would be a common thing. I could see that happening easy.
That's
man.
Exactly how it was back then. And you know what? I had at that time, I had 2 decisions: let them see that it bothered me, and it was only going to get worse, or 2, just roll with it. So I rolled with it.
Man.
Yep.
What did the family do? The family ever try to come after you for it, or
no? So there was a settlement reached, and the paramedic actually got fired. Not one thing ever happened to me. She was fired, and I saw the comment where somebody said she killed him, not you. Essentially, that's kind of what happened. But I'm the guy that's living with what I did, so. It was ultimately her responsibility to check the drugs and the clarity, and a paramedic's responsibility is to not let anyone else touch the drugs.
Of course
so
not.
She should have never asked me to do that. I wasn't trained in it, but still, that doesn't take away the fact that I did it. You know, so. But that was very early into my. No, it's. I mean, that's the thing is these things happen, and when we have to learn to be stronger for it and build on it. But that was very early in my career, where I ended up. Like questioning, what am I doing? Is this what my career is going to be? Am I going to be hurting people when I'm actually here to help them? You know, so had to figure that out.
Yeah, that's not a joke.
Yeah. Well, there's no counseling.
Yeah, right. Back then we didn't have counseling. You know,
we had that suck it up mentality, right? Yeah, you just suck it up. And I talk about that now extensively. And I'm like, that suck it up culture is what's killing guys now. And why they're killing themselves is because we suck it up so much over these jobs and over our careers. There's nowhere else for it left to go because we refuse to talk about things that are bothering us. And because we're afraid of judgment from our peers. And I was that dude. If somebody told me something was bothering them, I'd be like, man, suck it up. Don't be a bitch.
Well, think about how we're all, for the most part, then mostly men, right?
Yeah.
I mean, basically, that's you're in a scenario where all you do is break balls. Even for us, we don't even know you from anywhere. You were in the back room with us before we went live, and it was nonstop, right? I mean, it was nonstop. It was just constant laughing, but that's what we do. But we can get serious a lot of times. But for the most part, I think I think it's guys' way when guys break balls, especially in a scenario like that, cardiac kid, whatever. That's kind of a way to, in a strange way, to take a little pressure off of you, right? They're trying to make you feel better by making a joke or breaking your balls in some way. It's not always a good way, but for the most part, you would think that's why I could see why guys would break your balls.
But also to bring them along, Louis.
Well,
you know what I mean? You fucked up and you're bringing them along.
Exactly, but trying to move them, try and get some. Absolutely, that's what it is.
Case in point, I became that guy, right? I became the dude that would later on fuck with other people who couldn't handle it. And I'll give you, this is a funny call that I went on. I told this story on another podcast because it is a doozy. And somebody actually requested before I come on there and said, dude, you got to tell this story. And I was like, if I find a spot, I'll tell it. I went to a call where a lady was having shortness of breath, and we were a 3-man engine company. And it was me, a lieutenant, and a brand new guy who had never seen a dead person ever, right? And we get to the call, and I'm going to speed through this real quick. So I'm not so.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
No worries.
We get to the front door, and when the guy opens the door, he's butt naked, and he has this South African accent, right? And I'll never forget, I'm fucking point man on the door. He goes, quick, she's in here. And I'm like, what the fuck?
You thought you were Louis DiCaprio in Blood Diamond?
Well, look, I just see this man take off, and all I see is his hairy ass and his elbows running down this hallway, right?
Yummy.
And I'm like, what are we getting into? Well, you can hear moaning coming out of the back room down this hallway, and it's getting louder and louder and louder the closer we get. I mean, it is like, I'm like, oh man, we are about to roll into an orgy. And I button hook left into this room, and there's this beautiful woman stretched out on this bed, completely unconscious. And I look over to the right, and there's a porno playing. That was what was moaning.
Shalom.
And it was on a big screen TV, and it was very loud. And so we all go into the room. The lady's clearly fucking dead, and I'm like, oh shit. So we grab her, we're like, pick her up, and we go to put her on the floor. But when we went to put her on the floor to start doing CPR, there's dildos everywhere, like plural, like with a comma.
Plural?
Yeah, like not apostrophe.
Travis, I love this story.
Listen, it gets better. Listen, this is one of my favorite stories in emergency services. And this is what I'm talking about, how the shit we see is fucked up. Go tell this to a group of bankers. They'll be like, what the fuck?
What are you sick? So putting dildos in your pocket. I'm going to take this for later.
So I'm literally, we're kicking dildos out of the way because I don't want to get stuck by one. You know what I mean? Like, the Bergeau. Hey, so we put her.
The Bergeau coming back.
We put her on the ground. The new guy is like, so he's doing the BVM, the bag valve.
Wait a minute. Does she have clothes on?
No, she's butt naked. I'm going to tell you right now.
All right.
Listen, and she was beautiful. And I'll never forget, I don't remember her name, but she was 49. I'll never forget this. She was beautiful, right? So I'm doing these compressions, right? She had big old fake boobs with these pencil erasers or whatever. So, I'm doing these compressions, and I'm looking at my new guy, and I feel this, in emergency services, we have like a sixth sense about us. We have to, like, our heads have to be on a swivel, right? And I felt this presence behind me, and I'm sitting there doing compressions, and I just feel something right here over my right shoulder. So I was like, what the fuck? And I look and almost got hit in the mouth with the dick, right? What? The guy, listen, he was standing, he's standing over me like this.
He's like, how's your business? How's your business?
watching me do compressions, and I was like, oh shit. So I look back to the left and I tell my officer, I'm like, hey, David, get him out of here. Right. So
Get that dick
What
out of
did he
here.
have? Did he have the 70s thing working, or he had the Dorito chip? What he had working? What was he?
it was long enough to be near my lips. I know that. But
Good for him.
Oh,
Good for him. Good for him.
it was so David takes him over, my officer takes him over there, and he goes, he asked him the stupidest question I've ever heard on an emergency scene. He was just trying to like break the guy's concentration, right? While we're doing compressions. He goes, sir. He goes,
no,
sir,
this is not gonna be good.
no, sir, what were you doing when you noticed she was having a shortness of breath? The guy got mad. He goes, God damn it, we was fucking.
Was it this guy right here by any chance?
I always say, if you're gonna go, you might as well go while
That's
you're doing
it.
that, right?
Well,
Yeah.
hey, so this is like storybook ending, right? So we go back to the fire station, and the new kid he's fucked up, man. He's
So she's gone, unfortunately.
she is tits
Nah,
up,
that's
literally.
too bad, man.
Like,
That's
Oh,
too bad.
bummer, dude.
so we're eating dinner, right? And I just slam my chair back into the wall, and I go, God damn it, we was fucking. and the lieutenant spits his food all over the table, and the new kid goes, I don't understand how y'all can say that. That's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's loved one. And I looked at him and I go, motherfucker, get your shit and get the fuck out of here if you can't handle this. And I was like, hey, that I turned into that dude. Well,
You
come
are.
to find out, the two cops that showed up to the scene, check this out. The two cops that came to the scene, yeah, they showed up to the fire station. They go, you guys aren't going to believe this. And we're like, what? And they said, that guy, the South African guy, was the gardener. Her husband was away on business.
Oh,
Yeah,
Banging the gun.
and that's going in a police report right there.
that is. That's, I mean,
Ooh.
the shit you see in emergency services, man.
It's usually the golf pro.
Yeah, I know, but this was the actual gardener.
You see
Nice.
people in their worst. That's the tough part about being a cop and a fireman, and an EMS or paramedic. You know, you're seeing people at their very worst, man.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
rough.
I've told this story before. One of my last tours, bro. I'm on the back step. I'm not driving, and we get a run. And I ring the doorbell, and a broad comes out. And she's in a robe with a tit hanging out. And she opens the door. She goes, "Oh no, I did it again." I'm like, what? I go,
Britney Spears?
Oh no!
I go upstairs. There's a guy up there with his cock out. He's naked. He's an older guy too. He's like this. He's
out?
fucking dead. He's dead.
Dead, yeah.
If you're gonna go big.
Go.
He goes, I
Go
did
big.
this to my last boyfriend. I'm like, holy shit, bro.
shit.
Was she the Black Widow? I'm like,
God dang.
So I'm gonna use the same joke as last time. So you didn't get her number, then, is what you're saying?
Kev, she was a little fucking proud of that. You know what I mean? Like she was a bit of a Black Widow in that scenario. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I did it again.
I did it again. No, she was screaming.
Oh, really? Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it again. So Coobs, you didn't get her number then?
Nah, no.
Come on.
That's
Yeah, he
callback.
did. That's why he's asking
Nice
for the
callback.
sniper earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Osama.
Lou, you're a pro now. You brought you
Osama. I like the callback. I like it.
Uh,
No, I watch a lot of Sebastian. He does that a little bit too, the callback. I like it.
They all do.
You want me to tell you all about that car wreck? The picture of that car?
Yes,
Oh,
the one.
yeah,
We got another picture there,
I
Petey
got
boy.
it.
I got
It's
some
on
fucked
the-
up stories, dude.
It's a coming up. Hold on, I gotta find this thing. Jeez, I'm out here pulling pictures.
No more titty stories. No,
I mean, I
All
could, but
Nah, that's all right. We'll move
Nah,
on.
the thing-
We'll move on.
I gotta
It's
be
a family
professional.
show. It's a family
Yeah, it's
show.
a family show.
Family
All
show.
right.
Family show.
So check that out. So there's a story behind this.
Whose
I was
car is this?
chasing-
Your car?
No, that's the guy I was chasing when I was a cop. So
We're
yeah,
back to
so
the cop. All right.
yeah. So this is when I was a police officer, right? So this guy, I got his name. I can't say it because I probably end up getting sued. But I think he's either in prison but I've heard he never walked
You
again
can
after this
sneeze
wreck.
it if you want.
Yeah. So here, check this
Sneeze
out.
his name.
So 1 year prior to this day, almost literally to the day, right? So in early December 2003, I get into a car chase. I get behind a stolen vehicle with two occupants, all right? And I chase it into the city limits of Charleston. Now, I was a North Charleston cop. Long story short, I'm working midnight shift. I end up falling off of a bridge chasing this guy. We fell 15 feet onto a roadway below, and I fucked my leg up, right? We get him in custody. My sergeant goes, "Hey, Travis, you're in no condition to work the rest of the shift. Just go home for the night." And I was like, "All right, you sure, Sarge?" She said, "Yeah, go home." Normally, I would get home at 8 in the morning, right? So around this time, it was 2 in the morning. I was living with a
You got
I
to
thought
make
you
a
were going
girl.
to tell me you came home at 2 in the morning. Your old lady was banging the gardener.
I was going to say, you got to make that call. You don't want to just show up there. You know,
Yeah,
golf
sure.
pro.
Your old lady's banging the gardener.
Biff
Oh
could
my
be in
God.
there. The golf.
Hey,
You ever hear those stories where people they're like, "Oh, if I caught my spouse fucking somebody, I'd kill both of them."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been exposed to that. So
What?
I go home. Listen,
Oh no!
This guy's had it all.
you can't make it up. I'm telling you. Listen,
You can't make it up.
No. So I go home. I'm living with this girl that I've been dating for 4 years. Right. I pull up. I see a candle in the apartment window upstairs. I was like, "What the fuck?" So I open the door. My dog is downstairs, and he always slept upstairs. And I walk in, and I hear moaning going on, and I was like,
Oh come on!
I was right.
"Look, I know this sounds unbelievable, but I have people that can back all of this shit up." So I walk up the stairs. I walk up the stairs, right? And this is why I became a comedian. I have all this shit in my life, right?
Yeah, that's
So
not bad actually.
I walk up the stairs, and I'm standing at the door, and I just hear moaning like I've never heard her moan before, right?
Yeah, I mean, what's up with that?
And I'm
Exactly.
exactly.
Sorry,
There's
man.
a long dipping going
And
on.
I'm sitting there thinking, please be another woman. Please be another woman. And I walk.
Holy shit!
I push the door open and I flip the light on and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I'm telling you what, dude. The dude, he was doing a jam up job. He was behind my gal, and I watched him back out of her for what seemed to be 20 minutes. I mean, I was like, whoa.
You're like,
Oh.
I understand
But
now.
now you got to
I
think
understand.
though. He's got an armed police officer standing there, like, "What the fuck?" And he's butt naked, and he's like, I didn't know," and I believed him. And long story short, she was like, "Travis, I told him that we were just roommates, blah blah blah." So I was like, "You want to fuck my girl? Come back tomorrow, and I'll be gone." So I let them leave. But getting back to that car wreck, listen.
Wait,
This is-
hold on. I don't.
I know. Hold on. I'm like,
Yeah, you want to fuck my girl? Just come back to me.
Come
I'm
back.
going to leave. Anyway, getting
back
back to
to
the
the
car
car
wreck.
I mean, were you married?
I call my-
Like, were you upset?
Nah,
Like,
no.
You know what?
It was just one of them stale ass relationships. So
You're
I
an
call my-
involved. You're an involved motherfucker right now. You know that at this stage, right? At that point, that thing was probably over anyway. That relationship, or no?
Oh,
was it
yeah.
a total surprise?
No, well, I called my sergeant, and I was, of course I was upset. I was like, "Motherfucker, listen, what just happened?" He's laughing at me.
Oh,
And he's like,
yeah.
"I sent you home early, blah, and that's what you get." I was like, so they helped me, my sergeant and a couple of my other partners come and help me move out. But
Nice.
what the story comes back to that car wreck. Check this out. Almost a year later to the day, I see this car go by, and I was like, something ain't right with that car. So I get behind it. He makes a traffic violation. I light it up. How about the motherfucker got T-boned in the intersection. He ends up going to the hospital. That dude, it was the same exact guy a year later that I fell off the bridge with.
Oh,
really? I was gonna say
So-
boning the.
I thought it was
No,
the guy who
no,
was
no.
old lady.
No. But think about it. Think about this though. Had that guy, if I had not fallen off the bridge with him and got fucked up that night, right? That would have never happened, and my life wouldn't have taken the path that it took from that night on. You know what I mean?
The universe.
It's the universe, baby. That's it. You just got to roll with it. So if you walk in and
I
catch your old
say
lady getting
Jesus.
dicked down, just roll with it, man.
I got one question for you because I only have one.
I got a couple questions
Well,
too.
This has to do with the universe.
The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf! Fuck!
Never know
This
what
has to do with the universe. So I'm in the gym one day, and there's this fucking granola hippie chick that I always see in there. She's got her iPods on or whatever she's doing, right? And when I work out, I'm loud. I grunt. I fucking yell. I do whatever. I'm one of those guys, right? So she comes up to me. She says, excuse me.
Oh, I hate her. I know.
But
who
your grunting is really distracting me, and it's really rude. I said, "You talking to me?" She goes, "Yeah, you." She goes, Kevin, your grunting is really, really rude." I said, "Well, we're not in fucking Planet Fitness, so why don't you put your fucking earbuds on, and go fuck yourself? How about that?" She goes, "Oh yeah." don't you worry. The universe will take care of you.
Ooh,
She gets it.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you know what?
what-
This is the same
She gets
fucking
it, man.
chick. This is this because
Why?
me and Kev worked out at the same gym. This is the same fucking chick who would leave weights everywhere, and then you go pick one up, and she go, no. I'm coming back to that.
Yeah,
in
but
1
what
minute.
does that mean? What is the universe is going to take care of me? I don't know what that means.
I don't know, man. That's some scary shit. Though I'd watch my
That's
back if I were you.
It's like the Kavorka. You gotta be
It's probably, you know what it probably is? Probably
The
gonna
Malloy.
get you when you're taking a shit and you're in there grunting.
It's the
and it's just-
Maloik.
yeah.
You're gonna be
All
that
right, so
guy
let's
that
get
goes
back-
out on the toilet.
So whatever
Oh,
happened with
God.
the broad?
Let's
Did
get
she ever
back to
marry that
woman
dude?
picking.
No, so, dude, this is some South Carolina shit, man.
Oh, boy.
So
That was
Oh.
her
ended up-
brother.
no, yeah, right. She ended up getting pregnant by that guy,
Oh boy.
all right? And he ended up turning out to be married and having a family on the side,
Oh,
and never had anything to do with her again. So she was stuck with that kid, and I was like,
See,
the universe took care of it, my friend.
universe,
The universe took care of her.
universe took care of it.
Right.
My
I haven't seen her
God.
since, so but I hope she's well.
Hey,
Good,
man.
that was nice.
What was that
a
movie?
nice thing.
Not old school.
Robert.
What was the movie where they would go back? Where they're in college and
Old school.
no,
Old
not
School.
old school. The other one with
Dangerfield.
no, it wasn't with Dangerfield, bro. It's, he's the Godfather. They call him the Godfather of.
Old school. Old school.
Oh, old school, yeah.
Is it old school? Well, when he's home and the doorbell rings, and he opens the door and it's like, "Yeah, hi, I'm here for the 8:00 gangbang."
No. I'm here for the. I'm here for the gangbang.
Bang.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm here for the
gangbang.
gangbang.
That's so fun. I'm here for the gangbang.
That was Travis. Hey, hi, I'm
Yeah.
here for the gangbang.
Please be a
Crazy.
woman. Please be a woman. Please be
Please
a
be a
woman.
woman.
Ah,
Please
be a woman.
shit. And the guy was long dipping.
Dude,
Joey,
that's
he
that's
was-
a rough situation, but
he
you
was in
handled it like a fucking champ, man.
What are you gonna do? I mean, what are you
Nothing.
gonna do?
Nothing. What are you gonna do? Go to jail
You
for this
can't-
motherfucker?
what-
No way.
You know, I just had this conversation with a buddy of mine today. I'm like, I don't understand how men get mad at other men. They're just
Fuck it.
doing, you know what I
You
mean?
would have done.
Exactly. It's like I don't know the guy. It's not like he's my brother, like
No.
doing that to me. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that shit would be.
Why didn't you ask to join in at least? You could have done that.
Dude, my favorite is when Al Pacino walks in on his wife in that whatever movie that was, and he's like, "You can eat my food, you can fuck my wife, but you don't watch my fucking TV."
That would be
Yeah,
heat, my friend.
He grabbed the
That'd be
TV,
heat.
right?
Yeah, what a great team.
He had that guy so scared for
Yeah.
not doing anything to him, right? He was,
Yeah,
guy was
that's
nervous.
that's crazy.
Hey
He was
man, if
good.
I got caught fucking somebody's wife, I'd be shitting my pants. I'd be
Take
flying
it
out the
easy,
back
Pete.
window.
Take it easy, Peter.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I thought this was a family show.
It is
Yeah,
family show. Car wreck is what it is.
that's what it is.
That's Johnny Walter's peg leg right there. That car wreck.
All right, so where to go from here?
I think so. We had a few laughs, so now I
Yeah.
think it would be good to
Get
get
serious.
serious.
You know
This is
what?
the
Why don't you
easiest-
ask Travis one more question and put the spotlight on him for a second? Hold on.
Oh boy. All right. So wait, I gotta ask this. You know, firefighting, was it more so the? Let me just mute Cubes' mic here because I'm hearing myself back in it. Was it more the culture or the job that got you back on the scene? You know what I mean? It sounded like the culture.
It was both, man, because I loved being a fireman. When I was in Charleston, right? So the first time I was there, we were catching fires left and right, and I'm talking multiple dwellings at one time, and it wasn't a rare thing to have 3 houses burning at one time back then, and that wasn't something I was exposed to at my first department, and so I was actually getting that taste of firefighting, and I was young, was full of vigor and piss and vinegar, and the culture was a lot different, right? So you didn't like. Every day when I was a police officer, I was like, all right, am I getting fired today? You always have to like justify every fucking thing you do. In a firefight, in a firehouse, you don't do any of that shit. You just show up and you do your fucking job, you know? And I love that. And I love the fuckery that took place in the fire stations. I was big into the pranks. I loved every aspect of it. I regretted literally leaving it for 2 years when I did.
But the universe sent you in a direction.
It did, and it needed to, man, because I'm telling you, and I'm not a spiritual guy. I say this all the time, and I know it sounds crazy. I'm not a religious person, but I really feel like my life was on a path to be exactly where the fuck I needed to be. And it took all these crazy little things happening to put me there.
Right.
So I just went with it.
What's the where the hell is it? I wrote it down. When somebody asked you to define laughter, what did you define it as?
I didn't know I put a definition on laughter.
Is it? I thought it was. What is live a fantastic fucking life?
Oh, yeah. So yeah, you saw that on that podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What do you think?
that's
I watch anything about you? You think I came on here like cold? Like what?
No, I thought, I was like, damn, did I quote something like that? But no, it is. It's live a fantastic life and live the best life.
That's not what you said. Live a fantastic.
Hey, is this a Christian
life.
show?
Life.
Christian show. This is a Christian show.
What a southern thing to say.
We're
a Christian show.
Pete might be a JEW, so we don't know about that.
That's it. Live a fantastic fucking life and live it the best way. Live it the best way that
went
you
to Catholic school for fucking 20 years, motherfucker.
Take it easy, Pete. Take it easy.
All right,
Sorry.
you're interrupting Travis. Go ahead.
And it's all about enjoying the time that you have here and making the most of it, even the shitty situations, man, because the shitty times are coming for every single fucking one of us. You know, we could be having a great day right now and the shitty ones are coming. And it's how do you get through those to be able to enjoy your life and not let that shitty moment define your life and drag you down the pipe. Like it almost cost me my life multiple times. And if you want to talk about the serious stuff now, we can.
Yeah, do it.
So, you know, all of this was all fine and good up until June 18th, 2007, when we lost our 9 guys in that furniture warehouse fire. That day, I wasn't on duty. I was actually off duty at a golf tournament. We were celebrating my buddy Shane Albers, if you want to throw that picture up, with him holding his son in the pool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kid with the pool.
So this is that's Shane-O, right? So that picture, Shane was killed 4 months to the day of our deadly fire that killed our 9 guys. Shane was killed in a car wreck, and I actually went to his vehicle afterwards and pulled that picture out of his dashboard, and that's why the right corner of that is torn off. The rest of it got hung up in his dashboard. But that's Shane and his son Hunter, and that picture hangs up in his firehouse now, Engine 2, downtown Charleston. But we were at a golf tournament for him to kind of raise money for his family, and when the fire broke out for the Sofa Superstore, we all knew that was a bad building. It was a huge furniture warehouse. And we started heading that way. And when I got there just as the building was collapsing. And I met one of my buddies in the parking lot. He was first on scene, David Griffin, and he was pumping engine 11. He was the engineer. And I asked him what was going on. And he said Lewis was missing. And Lewis was my best friend on the job. And I always tell people, wasn't Lewis's best friend, but he was mine, you know. And Lewis was that kind of dude where he had a lot of people thought Lewis was just a wonderful person and they were his best friends. But David said we also had a lot of guys missing. And at one time they thought we had like up to 20 something people missing. And long story short, I got tasked with being on the body recovery team that night. And we went in that building around 8 o'clock, and we didn't come out till daybreak the next day. And we were in there locating all of our guys and pulling them out. They were all burnt beyond recognition. I've gone into detail on some podcast about how bad they were, but it really doesn't do it any justice to talk about it. But it was a life-changing event for everybody on that scene. That's the column where if you can see it, so that's my ladder truck, ladder 5 over there to the right. That's the bucket over the part of the storage building. And then engine 10's back down in the alley. Well, that window over to the left is where we brought all the bodies out, and they were burnt so badly. They were like, we couldn't even get them into the body bags. We would literally have to be very careful with putting them in there so we didn't break them in half. And I tell a story in my book about how Lewis and I, when we were together on Engine 6, we went to a murder scene one time where a guy was set on fire and burned to death, and we extinguished him. And while we were in the puddle, about to roll him over, we were both on our knees. This guy's skin was sticking to our pants, and we rolled him over and we broke his fucking arm off. He was burnt so badly. Wow. And when I was putting Lewis into the body bag that night, I was thinking back to that night with that guy, and I was thinking, I don't want to hurt my friend when I was putting him in a body bag. I know that sounds crazy because he's already dead, but I didn't want to hurt him. So that night, what happened for me was, so that's me in the light blue shirt, and that's us carrying the guys out, and you can see them draped in the flag there. So that night changed everything for me. It's all the trauma that I'd seen up in my life, I was fine with. I was able to sleep. I was able to function at high levels. And then that was my tipping point. That was my mental filing cabinet tipping over. and everything coming back to haunt me. And my life, dude, I'm telling you, it was a straight fucking whirlwind downhill after that. I turned into a drunk. I got physically abusive at work with multiple firefighters. I ended up slapping a firefighter on one of the buses at the funeral in front of a bunch of kids. I threatened to throw an academy instructor out of a 5-story fucking training tower. I assaulted members of our training staff. I assaulted a member of my own crew behind a building one afternoon while we were training. Not things that I'm proud of, but it's just, you got to see the jokey Travis, and then all of a sudden something changed in Travis, and I became this monster. And what I was getting at is nobody pulled me to the side ever because to ask if I was okay. Right? You see this man clearly changing. Something's wrong with him. But Lou, like you said, that's what we do. We are who we are. We break balls. We're tough guys, right? Nobody would ever pull me to the side and be like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And I ended up almost taking my own life because of it, because I felt so helpless and hopeless. And I ended up sitting in a room with a gun in my mouth, with it loaded, pulling the trigger. It didn't go off, and all those stories are in my book. I would put myself in positions where I would drive drunk down the interstate at triple-digit speeds on my off days, hoping that I would wreck my car. And I was being selfish by doing that, by putting other people in harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a fucking fireman, but I didn't want to live anymore, but I didn't have the balls to do it myself. So I eventually got to a point where I knew I needed help. And so I said, fuck it. And I reached out for it. And it was the best thing I ever did. But it was a little too late for me, because I ended up losing my career as a fireman. I'd just gotten promoted to engineer. And then I assaulted 10 members of my firehouse. And that couldn't be swept under the rug because the cops were called, and I was told I needed to leave the job. And I don't want to see that shit happening to younger generations of firemen. If they're on the job and stuff happens, this can be the greatest job in the world if you take care of yourself, and you have some longevity if you take care of yourself. But we suppress that shit, we bury it, and we do what we do. We break each other's balls, and we don't get help. That's what's costing guys their lives. We just lost 3 fucking emergency responders in the last few months here in Charleston. That's just in Charleston. 2 firemen, 1 police officer, all shot themselves in front of family members. Every single one of them. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's fucking. And this is just Charleston. So I do what I do now. So I'm an advocate for mental health, and I talk all over the country. And you would be surprised, man. I get emails. I get people that come up to me. They're like, "Yeah, dude, we just had this person kill themselves. This person." I got an email after that FOP thing where a cop drove into his own substation and fucking shot himself. Drove his cruiser into the fucking building and then shot himself. But you don't hear about this stuff on the news. We don't, we only hear about it when it happens close to home. But it's happening everywhere at astronomical rates, and it's because of the shit we see on these jobs, and it's because our inability to go get help, because we feel like we're weak if we do that, or a fear of judgment because, hey, Lou's a tough guy and he may lose respect for me if he knows I'm going to get help. And I was that dude. I would call people on the job. I'm like, if you go talk to somebody, you're a fucking pussy. You don't need to be here. And I'm not proud to say that, but it needs to be said because I turned into that dude, and I was hiding behind that.
You know what? I was going to say, we've had a few guys on that talk about mental health issues, PTSD. Mikey Milner was one of the guys. He does a lot for that. But I would say, from when I got on the job, I'm sure Coobs would say the same thing in 93 to the time when I got out in 2018, 19. The counsel, again, after 9/11, that changed a lot for the FDNY. And then we had a counseling unit. And initially it was just a couple of guys, maybe retired guys that would listen to you. It was kind of like, it was the building block, right?
Yep.
Now, the guys would come to the firehouse. And again, you got a lot of stuff going on in a firehouse. You get 2 or 3 guys. Most of the time they were retired guys. And I think it worked well because we would respect them. We knew who they were, and the guys would show them respect. If it was just a civilian from the city who came in, they probably wouldn't get the respect that they did. But they were guys that came from the job. Most of the guys knew something about them, and they would give them respect. And the guys would come in, and they'd say, "How's things going? Just a little bullshit thing. Just, give out the card. Just remember, if anything you need, kind of similar to what you're doing." And, they would talk about some jobs that we had or some of the stories that they had, guys maybe getting divorced, guys drinking, doing stuff. And again, they would say, if you need anything, don't be afraid. Kind of similar to what you just said.
Yeah.
So I would, in my experience, again, this was the FDNY. I don't know if this is around the country, obviously, but from when I got on to when I got out, it was night and day, right? There is some avenues for guys, especially in the counseling unit in the FDNY. And I think that's really grown and save a lot of people. I mean, there's no doubt, I know guys who have gone through the counseling unit who, if they didn't have the counseling unit to get out of the firehouse for something in their life, it didn't always have to be the job. It didn't have to be something related to the job. It could be something in their own life, having issues with their wife, having issues with their kid, having issues with their family, something. The counseling unit would take them offline and they would get, therapy, and they'd, get the time off to do what they had to take care of without having the issue of the firehouse. And that has been it's been a godsend. But again, I don't know if that's happening around the country. And that's why we want to get guys like you. And, we talk about it the best we can. I mean, you know what I mean? So we do take it serious, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it is. And it's definitely since you, obviously since 9/11, we had some of your guys come down, and that's what helped some of us open up a little bit, because we didn't want to speak to people that we couldn't relate to. And we had some Worcester guys come down, from the cold storage building, and they talked to us a little bit, and that helped, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit. I was like, look, if these guys can talk, I can talk, and I went and did it. So that's what I do. I just encourage, I just try to spread that message of encouragement to other people who may be experiencing those things. It's okay to go talk to somebody. So
those guys are some of your best friends, huh?
Yeah, Lewis was my best friend, and I have stories on that guy for days, man. But yeah, he was.
I remember when that happened. We obviously that's a big number in any place, obviously, and we talked about warehouse jobs and those types of buildings, and what was really that I remember about that job was the fact that you heard the guys it wasn't just like the roof collapsed and they were gone, right? It was, they were making calls to whoever. And it was kind of like, tell my wife I love her type of thing. And, all that stuff, which is just heart wrenching because they know they could see it coming, you know what I mean? Which is,
Yeah, a lot
horrible.
of people try to paint the picture like, oh, the roof collapsed, they died. And it's like, no, they straight up, they choked on smoke and they burned to death. Those guys were lost. We know it. The people that were there, we know, regardless of what they put in those fucking reports. Lewis was heard on the radio telling his wife he loves her.
That was him? I heard that. Yeah,
that was him. He said, tell my wife I love you. Those were his last words. He knew he was dying, and Melvin Champagne, he was saying a prayer. I think Mr. Earl was saying a prayer. Brandon was saying that he lost connection with the hose. So they knew that. They knew they were
right. I remember hearing that guy too. He lost. He didn't know where he was. He was off the line.
But even with all of that, I went through the survivor's guilt. I went through the rigmarole. I had to leave the fucking job I love to do. I just promoted. I was planning on retiring as a 30-year captain. My life was redirected. I wasn't meant to be a fireman for 30 fucking years. Regardless of how much I tried to fight it, my life was set in a different path. After that, I started doing stand-up comedy to just kind of give me something to attach myself to. And before I knew it, I'm doing it full time.
You were saying you were traveling how many times were you traveling? How many days or some ridiculous thing?
It was 42 weeks a year for 6 years straight.
That's you?
That's me, right?
Would you have a tough paper out or something?
Yeah. And I left the job in 2010, so I stayed on the job for 2 more years. And but I was already I started comedy right after that event, that fire. So by the time I left the job in 2010, I was already touring full time, man. And I was paying guys to do my shifts so I could get the fuck away from the firehouse. And it turned into a monster for me. And I got to work with a lot of the legends in comedy, which is really cool. Kevin Hart, Bill Engvall from Blue Collar Comedy Tour, all those guys. And I got to do overseas tours for the troops and play all the comedy clubs and colleges. There's Kevin. Yeah. And that's us backstage at the
Who's that guy?
Who the hell is that guy?
Yeah, that's me, man.
Holy Christ.
So, but then that ended up morphing into motivational speaking, if you will. To where I'm able to stay connected to my brothers and sisters in the emergency services, where I can talk and speak about mental health issues and communicating through trauma, and which led to my podcast and doing that stuff. So I'm still very much connected to our guys and girls, and I love that. So I don't wish that incident, I wish it would have never happened, but I can sit here and wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster, or I can make the most of whatever happened and do the best that I can to keep pushing forward and to maybe help some folks along the way.
Do you think that the comedy was therapy for you?
Oh man. So I used to have the Laughter is the Best Medicine tour, and it was called actually the Funny Under Fire tour is what it was called. But
Are you really funny?
No, I suck. It was amazing for me, man. Like I've never done crack, but that was my crack, and it put me on a high when I was on that stage, and when I was going through all the shit that I was going through, the survivor's guilt, and just the flashbacks and all that. For that hour on stage, all that shit would always go away, and I got to live in that moment for that little piece in time, and then I would go back to whatever misery I had waiting on me after I get off stage. So that's why I was chasing it, and I was on stage every night all over the world.
I got to tell you, Travis, sitting here listening to you, I hesitate to tell this story because I don't think I've ever told anybody the story. But after 9/11, I was in a really bad marriage, and Ruffy knows how bad we were. Pulling our own guys out of the pile, right? I was at that spot, man. I had a belt around my neck on a fucking nail in my basement.
It's a dark place, ain't it?
Yeah, man. And you know what happened? The entire wood broke. And and kibosh that right there. But
that's because you're meant to be right here at 9:28 p.m. on a Monday with us four on this fucking screen. Serious.
Yeah, I know my mother's listening to this and she's gonna have a fucking meltdown, but I don't think I've ever fucking said that out loud, bro. And I don't know why I'm doing it right now, but we see some fucked up shit. I don't even think I told Ruffy, who's my friend for 40 fucking. I don't even think I told my wife, for Christ's sake.
You did tell me, but not to that.
I was at that
degree.
Fucking place, bro. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, we were. And you're in bad shape, man.
And the thing too is, I always had that. You hear suicide is for cowards, and people take the easy way out. And I talk about this extensively, and it's like unless you've been there, that ain't the case. It's you carry this.
Think about that. That's not even popping into your head at that point, bro.
With me, I was carrying so much weight, and I was so exhausted from carrying
too
it.
Much.
I just honestly it's like me handing you a 45-pound plate and being like, all right, carry this with you for the rest of your life. Everywhere you go and do every single thing you ever fucking do again in life, carry that. You're going to get exhausted and want to sit the fuck down. And that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to sit the fuck down, man.
Travis, we from the time we lost the guys, we were there every day.
Yeah.
And we didn't find many guys out of our 19. Forget about, the 343.
Yeah.
And then we started having, because it was taking so long and families wanted some closure. So we started having, just for our companies, on top of the other companies that we were going to, we had memorials with no body. And then, thank God, a couple weeks later, we started finding some people, some of our guys, and then we started having funerals. So could you imagine, again, I think back now, we were all in a dark spot, but, we were drinking, we were doing bad stuff, but, the survivor guilt, all that stuff. But when you really think about how much, like you said, how much can a couple of guys take where you go to memorials, you see the families, with the kids, and you can't even believe what you're seeing for no reason, for nothing. It was for absolutely nothing, right? Mm-hmm. And then you start, on top of that, you're digging all the time. Then you find people and you find your guys and you're happy about that. And then what do you have to do? Now you have to go to the funeral, which you just went to the guy's memorial, and you have to watch his family and his kids go through that all over again.
All over, yeah.
So it's just, like Coop said, at some point, it was just, we were all there. I think, 7/8 of the guys in the firehouse got divorced. because we would go to these memorials, we would come back, and we would go out. We would go drink and try and do whatever we had to do to, and again, that was,
I mean,
hold on, Petey, just to say, to getting back to what Travis said, I miss those guys. Obviously, it's not even worth saying we didn't wish it happened, right? So, but it took me a long time, but I'm glad I'm here, right? I don't wake up in the morning thinking, holy shit, man, thinking about those guys in a bad way. I'm here. I'm making the best for me and my family and my friends and doing what, I'm going to have a good life till I'm dead, right? Which I'm hoping is a long time because these guys are all fucking dying, right? So that's the mindset I'm in. And that's what that's the only thing I could do. Otherwise, it's a dark place, man. If you start living in the past all the time, you can't do it, right? Obviously.
It'll drag you down, man. And I've seen so many guys do it. And I tell people, I'm like, look, man, whatever weight you're carrying, you got to use it to make yourself stronger and empower people around you versus let it pull you fucking down. And if you let it pull you down, it's going to, and it happens. And I guarantee you, this message right here, we may not even know who, but I do this enough to where I know 100% without a doubt this is going to affect somebody, it's going to help somebody, and their light is going to flip on for them, and they're going to either go get help. Yeah, you know what I mean? So
I look at my kids now and my wife, my beautiful wife, and I'm like, if that had carried out to its purpose, I would never have these kids. I would never have this wife,
That's right. You're right.
Why everything, I said to you in the beginning, I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, bro. Like when I started reading your stuff and started watching you, and I'm like, it fucking makes sense, man. The universe has a different fucking plan for you, bro.
It does.
That's like what movie was that with Denzel? Where what was that? Man on Fire, right? He had the bullet, but the gun didn't go off, right? And he carried the bullet. He carried the bullet with him all the time. And then he ended up giving it to somebody, and he said something like, "It didn't work for me. Maybe it'll work for you."
Maybe it'll work for you. Yeah, right? That's right.
And
I have to say this, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's a couple things. Number one, Kev, if that had happened, if you had achieved that goal of yours at that moment, it's a horrible way to say it, but we wouldn't have had this podcast tonight. You would have never met me in the gym. You would have never said, "What do you do? Oh, what do you do? Hey, you want to start a podcast?" Yeah, I want to start a fucking podcast with you. You're a cool guy, Kev. But on top of that, I would have lost somebody that I consider my brother. And this opportunity to be a part of this, it's almost no words, man. So there's a lot of weight on you guys. There's a lot of weight. And I from coming from the outside, because I've never been in your position, all I can say is that there's a lot to live for. And I'm glad that you're here because you've had a profound effect on my life, especially in the last year of my life, brother. You know what I've been going through. And being a part of this, it gives me purpose. So I'm glad you're here with us, bro. And I love you.
You know what I was going to say?
20 fucking years of holding this in. 20 fucking years.
It's like a weight lifted off of you too, right?
2 fucking decades I'm holding this, bro.
Yeah.
Can I be your liaison?
Yeah. No.
This one's for Kev. I love you, bro. I salute.
I'll drink my water. I feel like we should mash our Peter heads together.
I was going to say, too soon, Coops? Too soon?
God damn, man. What the fuck? We were having a good time, and then this took a turn.
We're back. We're back, baby. We're back.
Oh, man. That shit will turn into a shit show.
That's what we do. That's what we do, man.
I said to you, I don't know
Can't
what
be a giggle fest all the time.
This guy, when I started watching him, I'm like, holy fuck, man. I feel a connection to this guy for some fucking reason. And I don't know what it is. Not a gay connection, but another connection.
Hey, they say in order to be a fireman, you got to be a quarter gay anyway, right?
There's always 2 in every firehouse, they said. That's what they told me when I got there.
Takes 2.
Mama Lucian.
You know about the game show that I wanted to have in the firehouse? Did I ever tell you about that?
Me?
Anybody? I wanted to have a reality show. I wanted to have. I swear to God, I wanted to do this. I wanted to have a reality show in a firehouse. Seeing that you got 50 guys in the firehouse, and they say there's 2 in 10 guys that are gay, right? So we have cameras that come in the firehouse, and the game show is called Guess Who's the Homo. So we follow you around. And
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I figured you call it 2 in 10.
If there's guys, right? There's got to be what? 10 guys, right? That are homos. So at the end of the
Can you say homo?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing.
You're the audience is allowed.
I'm gonna go on record for my career and say I'm offended by that.
Yeah. You're allowed. The audience will guess. We're able to guess who the gay guys are.
They're like the one in the tightest t-shirts usually.
Oh,
I used to work on a show called Straight Plan for the Gay Man. And we would go in with a bunch of comedians with Rob Riggle. I don't know if you know him. He's a former Marine too and a comedian as well. Yeah. And we would go into a gay guy's house and try and straighten them out. You know what I mean? I don't think that show would be able to exist in this day. Tank in the chat is saying that you're the big Kev. You're the biggest man in the room tonight, and thank you again for allowing us to carry a piece of that for you for a moment. Love you with my whole heart, bro.
I don't know what he's talking about because I'm going to deny this night ever happened.
Wasn't me.
You aren't gonna post this one to YouTube. It's gonna be live and then no record of this shit.
Come on.
So you know what, Petey? Let's go right into it's about that time. Well, it's a little early.
Is it about that time?
It's about that time. Well, this way,
really
Travis
is.
can tell us about his.
Well, first of all, if you guys don't if you don't get
Melatonin,
go buy his book. First of all, go buy his book and watch his goddamn podcast.
Wow, that's the best plug I think I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Go buy his book and listen to his goddamn podcast.
What time is it, Petey?
Okay, guys, stand by because it's time for the old school tip of the day.
God, take it. Go.
Yeah, so I think like we just talked about the mental health aspect of this job, and I think the old school tip of the day for me would just be to take care of yourself. You know, and even if nothing is wrong, it doesn't hurt to go. If you've had any kind of traumatic exposure in our lines of work, seek out whatever resources you have available in your department and go talk to someone. You may never know what you can find out about yourself and what you may learn about yourself. You know, this isn't just about us. It's about our families. It's about our loved ones, our spouses, our friends. Take it from a dude like me. I've ruined everything around me. I've lost friendships. I've ruined relationships. I've affected everybody around me because of the bullshit that I went through on this job and playing the tough guy. Like, I don't need help. I don't need help. And by the time I got it, it was just too late for me. And that shouldn't be you. Take care of yourself. That's my hot tip.
So tell us a little bit about the book, and then we'll talk about the podcast. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, when we post this up on YouTube, I'm going to put the links to the book is on Amazon, correct?
Yeah, it's on Amazon, and this is what it looks like. So when I wrote this book, it's called Create Your Own Light, Finding Post-Traumatic Purpose. Now, it's written by a Marine. Here's proof. There's not in fucking crayon.
What's your favorite flavor of crayon? I'm just
purple.
Purple. Are there a lot of pictures in there? Any pictures?
I want that purple stuff.
There's a few pictures in there, but not many. So
there's no pictures of you walking in on your old lady and that guy.
No.
All right, damn it.
So when I wrote this book, I never wrote this book to really put it out there to the masses. I actually sat down and I wrote a timeline of events in my life that I did want to share openly, but I didn't want this book to turn into what it did. I was never trying to do that. So I wrote this, and I wrote it so transparently and real and honest that I think it kind of took off with little legs in our communities and emergency services and in the military, and it's actually helping spouses now to better understand what we go through, which is what I speak about, communicating through trauma, and I talk about PTSD awareness. So it's on Amazon. You can go check it out right now. Go to Amazon, Create Your Own Light, or just put my name in and it pops up. And there's tons of reviews on there, and you can kind of see what people are saying about it. And my podcast, I kept it simple. I actually just started that podcast. It's also called Create Your Own Light.
It's great.
And it's on all platforms. And I keep it, I try to keep it around 35 to 40 minutes and just talk about relative subjects through my Instagram account. And I like to work with people on Instagram. I like to socialize with you guys on there and take suggestions on what you would like a topic to be about. I have a lot of military emergency service responders there. So they know that I talk about this. So that, hey, can you talk about how spouses can help with coping with traumatic exposure? Or I had one recently about nightmares. I think it's good stuff, man. So if you guys want to connect with me on Instagram, it's just my name at Travis Howze. And I always say I can't do what I do without you. So I appreciate you being there. I love connecting with you. That's how, I found all you guys is through Instagram, and we can be here together doing this. And I just think it's really cool.
It's awesome,
so where you living now? Tell me where you're on a farm now. This is what I see. Your Instagram. You're picking tomatoes and peppers.
No, man. So I also say you got to do whatever it not to beat this down, but you have to live the life that you want to live, not a life that you just need to just get by with, right? I'm in Charleston right now, but I've always wanted a farm. The Charleston fucks me up mentally. it's just not a good place for me. And I like getting away from here. I like escaping. So I had a dream of owning a farm. I finally went out and just bought a fucking farm. And I'm out there all the time with my tractor. I'm just tearing shit up, and I love working out there and having a good time. So I'm bouncing back and forth. I just built a chicken coop. I ain't got no goddamn chickens. I just built a chicken coop, man, just because I'm like, I think I'm gonna get chickens.
I saw it the other day.
Yeah.
Well, you just got another follow from me, bro. Like,
so it works. I got one follower.
Yeah,
you got one follower. Guys already buying a book. I was watching the guys just purchased your book.
Oh,
already.
thanks,
God,
man.
really.
I literally, if you want to be a part of what I do, the Instagram thing is really important for me, because I deleted all my social media when I actually got out of comedy for 3 years, and I was going to go back into law enforcement, honestly, when I got out of it. But, because I was hurt from being a fireman, and I was told I couldn't be a fireman. So I was like, fuck, I'll go back to law enforcement. Well, I thought about that, and I was like, yeah, fuck that. But I deleted all my social media. So I've had to rebuild it. So if you guys would follow me on Instagram.
I'll put something up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dude, somebody
That's the one
wrote,
I really want to
Gabe Fox said Pete's sweater is giving people PTSD.
and I said it's cold down in the basement.
Holy shit, that's freaking funny, man. Correct.
Oh shit, man! What a fucking show, you guys.
Yeah, it was good, man.
You know what? I want to come down to Charleston and visit this motherfucker right here, bro.
You have anything else you wanted to talk about?
I'll let you know. I'll leave the back door unlocked. Tell you when my old lady's gonna be home. I'll go
2 o'clock in the morning. We'll be long dipping.
We can replay that scene.
I'll be medium dipping. All right, I won't be long dipping. I'll be medium dipping.
Fuck my old lady. Come back tomorrow. I'll be gone.
When you said he was backing out of your girlfriend for 20 minutes, I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I'll be backing out of your old lady for about 30 seconds.
Hey, no, man. So I used to come up to the city all the time. So now that I know you guys,
you
next time I
with
come
us, bro.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to see y'all. It's just a matter of
when this stupid COVID shit opens up, we're getting out. We're going to see everybody. We're getting silly. I can tell you that right now. We're going everywhere. We're going to
come out and see me on tour, man, because I'm all over the place, dude. Check it out. So next week I'm in Orlando this week, in 3 days. I'm at the Orlando Firefighter Conference. I'll be speaking there and then performing a huge comedy event. It's already sold out. And then in October, I'm supposed to be in Baltimore for the Emerald Society for the Baltimore PD and the fire department.
Oh shit, we're gonna definitely look up, man. We're definitely
that's what I'm saying. So and I'm all over, man. So I'm in Indianapolis.
Yeah, we want to get
FDIC.
some of your groupies on the side. Oh, we're going to FDIC. We just fought them with you today on the phone, right, Luke?
Oh, really? So
yeah, we got a conference call with it tomorrow.
Well,
our shit to the wrong email address.
I'm doing a big comedy event for the Firefighter Cancer Support Network. All the proceeds go to
Firefighter
Cancer
FDIC in August. Yeah. Oh, we'll definitely hook it up. We'll be there.
I've done it 3 times.
I can't wait.
Yeah. I'll be a roadie.
It's a blast.
I work with Travis.
I've never done this before.
I've never done that. Yeah, man. So I literally, when this shit fires back up, man, I'm all over the place, and I'd love to see you guys. And anybody that's watching it, look, find me on Instagram if I'm in your area. Once my schedule starts opening back up after COVID, I do everything I can to try to hook people up with tickets. And it's the least I can do if you want to come see me. You know what I mean?
We'll pay for our tickets. Forget about it.
Fuck all that. So
nothing for free. Nah. We don't do nothing for free.
Well, I'm just saying, people that are watching, if you ever want to come out, shoot me a message if I'm near you, and I'll see if I can't take care of you.
Let me know when you're on the road. I'll take a trip to Charleston when you're on the road somewhere else, and I'll do something else.
You come down and plant your own tomatoes.
Yo, backdoor chicken. How about a little potato?
I think, listen, man, and everyone make sure to check out the podcast as well. That Create Your Own Light podcast, because that is
on all platforms.
That was stellar. I was in the gym the other day, man, and he had some. I loved your.
Stop working out, Pete.
No, it was the first day back. First day back, crushed it. 1,000 calories. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Pete.
Hey, Pete, also subscribe to me on YouTube too, because I'm actually going to start putting the video ones out soon. I mean, there's nothing like super produced like you guys have. It's just me right here in this office talking shit.
Listen, brother, if you need any help with that, I'd be happy to shoot you a couple of words. So just ask.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And we need to get this guy back, man. We need to get him back on like a bullpen, dudes.
No, we'll get updates. We're gonna hit the road, and we'll film that live, so you can earn some.
Yeah, we'll do it from the road, man. What we could do? We could do it from one of my stages when I'm performing at the event.
Let's do it.
And you know what? You say, "Hey, I like to bring these 3 dicks up on stage. They're really not that
I'm really shy. I'm shy though.
But ladies, please pay attention.
I'm shy.
You got the last picture of the motorcycle?
Shit! We got the motorcycle. Come on!
This could be me riding out into the sunset.
Oh my God! This is the greatest picture.
Right out to the sunset.
Yeah.
This is what I'm posting this picture tomorrow.
Do it
for
That's the
Instagram for people to go on your Instagram.
It's the greatest picture in the history of pictures.
You got to encourage them to follow.
Look at this man riding butts to nuts, shoeless on the back of a Harley or whatever that is.
That's me and my boy Sugar Bear.
Oh, Sugar Bear. Nice.
I like it.
Shit, man.
Hey, man. That's what it's all about right there.
Enjoy the Hasselhoff shorts too.
Enjoy your life, man. Hey, no, Lou, but if you share that, encourage them to follow.
Stop. Live a fantastic fucking life. Say it right, bro.
Live a fantastic fucking life.
Sausages. Patty Lee said sausages. Snuffleupagus.
You never sausage a place.
Guys don't ride guys.
All right, so I have a shout out. I want to get to this.
Oh, I do too. Go ahead.
Petey, do you have that email?
I do.
The GoFundMe?
Yep, I do. I can read it.
All right.
You want me to read it?
I'm going to read it. I just want the GoFundMe up on there. So this is, if you could even believe this, you want to talk about some bad luck. So this is from Corey Little. Hey, Lou, Kevin, Pete. My name is Corey. I'm a firefighter in Ottawa, Canada. I was hoping you guys could give a shout out to Ottawa Fire Service Volunteer Lieutenant Kyle Burke and his family. In September 2019, they lost their house and family dog when a laptop charger ignited and burned the house down. 18 months and nonstop battle with insurance later, they finally moved into their newly built home at the start of this month. Are you ready for this? After only 18 days, tragedy struck again. February 18th, this month, Kyle and his wife were heading to bed, 5-year-old and 8-year-old kids already asleep. Kyle heard the garage door rattling. He went to check it out and saw smoke coming from the garage door, and then flames came out the window. Barely enough time to wake his kids and to get his wife outside. He grabbed his radio to report the fire to dispatch. Flames had already extended to the attic, coming through the roof. Kyle and his family stood and watched from the driveway in Ottawa. Can you imagine how cold that was? As their home and all their possessions burned away for the second time.
Jesus.
Giving a working fire update for his own house again. Our brother needs our help for another uphill battle. If you guys could please share the story and the GoFundMe page from this link, you'd be helping out a true gentleman of a firefighter and his devastated family.
It's in the chat, guys. It's in the chat. The GoFundMe link is
in the all right. Yeah. So it's just so people know, it's
sweet.
GoFundMe.com. It's Burke's house fire. So whatever you can do, help this guy out. My God. Holy shit.
All right, so I want to. You got any other shout outs?
No, that's it, kid.
All right, I got one from B. Williams from Illinois. Sent me, Ruffy, and Pete this package. I just got it today. We're going to open it up. I think it's some shirts and some coins.
Thank you, bro.
From Illinois. We get it out to the boys. Also, I got something from my boy Tommy. Any FDNY guys, they're opening up the criteria for the vaccine, bro. If you're under 65 and you have other health conditions, you can sign up at 718-999-1878 to get your vaccine. And before you go, I would definitely like to give some 5 bells out to my boy Travis's friends that he lost at the Sofa Superstore, bro. A little rest in peace. We give him the 5 bells right now, bro. Rest in
Appreciate
peace,
it.
brothers. Rest in peace. All right, fellas. I'm not going to say stay low and go when I leave this time. Pete, you take us out before I say
I have a quick
else.
shout out too. One quick one. I have a shout out to one Kevin Kubler. I love you, bro. I really do. And if you ever need me, I got your back, bro. And that's all I want to say.
Thanks, pal.
Other than that, if you guys are listening to this this fine audio podcast on iTunes Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever fine audio podcasts like this are found, head on over to youtube.com/Gettin Salty Experience to please like, subscribe, share, take your filthy bang booger hook off the bang switch and hit that like,
send
subscribe, and share
friends. Will you send it to friends?
Come on,
you filthy animals.
Come on, you mama Lucian. Get over there. No, guys, seriously, every like, subscribe, and share does help us out. You're telling the YouTube algorithm that you love us, and it will love us back. And it gets us more shows like this with Mr. Travis Howze here, who will, he's changing lives right now, and we really appreciate him. Also, guys, head on over to Instagram.com @SaltyDogInc, where Mr. Louis Rafano is sipping his coffee at 2:39 a.m. every morning and texting me promptly, buzz, wake up. Buzz, wake up. Buzz, wake up. Anyway, @SaltyDogInc, where you'll find the finest fire photos in the game, and also last minute information about the show. And guys, if you want to support this freaking show, head on over to GettinSaltyApparel.com. That's Gettin without the G. GettinSaltyApparel.com, where you'll find the finest firefighter apparel accessories in the game. Last but not least, also, guys, please email us your questions for our Q&As. Usually Monday nights a Q&A, but we took this opportunity to have a really great chat tonight. But email us over at gettinsaltyexperience@gmail.com. And you know what? Let's give these guys a shout out too. Guys, if you're on Facebook, if you're on this little platform called Facebook, or this publisher is called Facebook, head on over to Gettin Salty Fans, where you will find you guys fans page for this show. I see great posts all day there. And it's a really nice look into the community that we built around this show, which I'm super, super proud of. And guys, last but not least, I just want to say, man, what a great show to be a part of. Thank you guys for having me and listening to my shit. So love you guys, all you guys out there. Thank you so much.
When you buy your shirts, buy them a half size too small, so you look like a little bit like this.
Hell yeah. That's right, baby.
That's my gym size. That's my gym size.
What do we got on Thursday, Ruffy?
Thursday, I'm hoping for Big Al Benjamin.
Fuck Al Benjamin. Come on.
But I'm going to confirm it tomorrow. And then if not, I have some guys in the bullpen. So
Awesome.
I'm sure it will be a good show either way.
We are going to hang out with Travis Howze someplace, somewhere live. We're meeting up definitely in Indy.
We'll do it
in August.
Yeah.
We're hooking up with them.
So my show starts on Tuesday night. It's before any of the events, so you got to get there a day early.
Yeah, we're there early.
You're leaving on Wednesday?
Let's go.
You're telling me you're leaving on Tuesday.
No, I get there on Tuesday.
And you leave when?
I don't know. I'll stay a couple days.
All right, good. We'll hang out after that. I'll have to see.
No, but we get there early anyways.
We usually get there Wednesday, so we'll have to take him out to. He'll have to take us out to dinner on Wednesday.
There you go.
Oh my
Excellent.
goodness.
All right, listen. I'm gonna sign out different tonight because this man has made a huge impression on me. Instead of stay low and go, I'm gonna say this: live a fantastic fucking life. We'll see you at the next show, bro.
There you go.
All right, we'll see you at the big one.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Cheers,
Thanks,
Travis.
Travis.
Hang in
Stay
there. We're
safe.
going to go backstage. Stand by.
All right. Ooh.